The cancellation of Formula One races because of war sounds like a simple safety decision. But in reality, it might be exposing a much bigger weakness in how F1 is built today. So here's the real question. Are the Bahrain and Saudi Arabian Grand Prix cancellations just isolated incidents, or the first signs of a structural problem in Formula One's calendar? Because this isn't just about two races. We're talking about billions in investment, long-term contracts, and the entire expansion strategy of the sport. And this is happening right now, in the middle of a real geopolitical conflict involving the United States, Israel, and Iran. Most people look at this and think they canceled it for safety. Yes, but that's not the real issue. The real issue is why these races are so critical to F1 in the first place. And more importantly, what does this say about the future of the calendar? Because if these races disappear, the impact isn't isolated. It's systemic. Let's look at the facts. The Bahrain and Saudi Arabian Grand Prix were canceled amid escalating tensions in the Middle East. And this isn't the first time Formula One has had to deal with instability in the region. In recent years, we've already seen races take place under pressure, with safety concerns, last-minute decisions, and growing scrutiny. And yet, F1 kept coming back. Why? Because the Middle East has become one of the financial pillars of modern Formula One. These countries don't just host races. They pay some of the highest hosting fees on the entire calendar. They offer cutting-edge infrastructure, long-term contracts, and strong financial backing. So this isn't about small events. These races are central to how F1 operates today. But here's the key point. These facts explain what happened, but they don't explain why F1 keeps putting itself in this position. If the risk is known, why does the dependency remain? The obvious answer is safety. There's a real risk of military escalation. There's risk for teams, staff, logistics. And Formula One is one of the most complex global operations in sports. Cars, equipment, and hundreds of personnel move across continents every single week. Any instability disrupts everything. There are also insurance concerns, legal liabilities, and global pressure. So, canceling the races makes sense. It's a rational decision. But that's only the surface. Because the real question isn't why they canceled. It's why Formula One built a calendar that depends so heavily on regions with this level of instability. And that answer has nothing to do with safety. It has everything to do with business. Formula One didn't expand into the Middle East because of sporting necessity. It expanded because of financial necessity. Over the past decade, F1 has shifted from a Europe-centered sport into a global entertainment product. And in this model, the highest bidder wins. Middle Eastern countries have invested heavily to host races. They've paid massive fees. They sign long-term deals. They build large-scale events around the sport. Now compare that to Europe. Historic circuits, but lower financial returns, more restrictions, less direct revenue. The result, F1 started prioritizing high-paying markets, even if that meant accepting higher geopolitical risk. And here's the real turning point. This risk isn't accidental. It's built into the system. Formula One traded stability for growth. And that has consequences. When conflict hits, it's not just one race at risk. It's a significant part of the calendar. And if this dependency continues, what happens when the next conflict emerges? Now let's translate that into real impact. Fewer Hassies means fewer points. Fewer points means a less predictable championship. That directly affects competition. Teams lose chances to recover. Drivers lose opportunities to score. The balance of the championship shifts. But it goes further. Teams are also impacted financially. Fewer races means less exposure. Less exposure means less value for sponsors. And sponsors don't tolerate uncertainty. For the audience, the effect is also real. Fewer races, inconsistent scheduling, reduced engagement. And modern Formula One depends heavily on constant attention. So this isn't just a scheduling issue, it's a product issue. But the biggest impact hasn't happened yet, because the real consequence is what this forces F1 to do next. From here, there are three possible paths. First, reduce dependency on the Middle East. Shift more races back to stable regions. Europe, the Americas, established markets. Second, maintain the current model. Accept the risk and deal with cancellations when they happen. Third, expand even further. New markets. More diversification. The United States, Asia, spreading risk across more regions. But here's the real test. Formula One won't be judged by what it says. It will be judged by what it does next. If the next calendar still concentrates races in unstable regions, then nothing has changed. It's just adaptation. But if there's real redistribution, then we're looking at structural correction, which leads to the final question. Is this still reversible, or is it now part of the system? The cancellation of races in the Middle East isn't an isolated event. It's a signal of a deeper structural dependency. The root cause isn't the conflict itself. It's the model that put Formula One in this position. A model that prioritized rapid growth, even at the cost of stability. Now, the consequence is clear. When instability rises, the calendar breaks, and the championship feels it. If Formula One doesn't adjust this model, this will happen again. Not once, but repeatedly. The next calendar will be the real test. Because, in the end, this isn't just about geopolitics. It's about how far Formula One is willing to go to grow, and what price it's willing to pay for it.